Hello everyone. Welcome to Creative Edge. I, Sumit Joshi, welcome you all on the behalf of our entire team to our YouTube channel. Uh, and if you're looking for free study material to download for various and design and architecture entrance exams, you can download that study material for free by clicking on the link given in the description box. Also, follow us on Telegram and Instagram for regular updates regard with in context to all design and architecture entrance exams. So let us start today's topic, and the topic for the day is simple interest. So let us quickly understand what are the basic terms that we must know to solve any of the questions based on simple interest. So the very first term that one should know is principal. It is the amount that is borrowed or that is lent out on certain interest with certain rate. So that this principal is denoted by capital P. And then we were talking about certain interest rate, right? So that rate of interest is represented by capital R, and it is generally in terms of percentage. Sometimes you may find it in terms of certain fractions, but in majority of the cases, you will find rate in terms of percentage. And this is most of the time, this is annual interest rate, right? And then the time period for which the money is lent out or the money is borrowed is represented by capital T, and this time is in years. If it is not in years, we will be converting it into years. Clear? If time is not given in years, say months or days, then we will be converting it into years. Next, we have amount. So amount is the money that is sum of principal and interest. So amount. Next, we have amount. Amount is principal plus the interest earned, right? Principal plus interest. And in this case, we specifically are talking about simple interest. So this amount will be P plus simple interest. And what about this simple interest? This simple interest is calculated using P into R into T upon 100, where R is a rate of interest in terms of percentage and T is time in years, right? Time is in years. This R is in percentages and this time is in years. Okay, so let us go through few questions to understand how do we apply these concepts, right? So let's look at the very first question. It reads, Subodh borrowed rupees 800 at 6% and Neeraj borrowed rupees 600 at 10%. After how much time will they both have equal debts, right? So the amount is equal that we need to calculate for what time, after what time that amount of this principal, this rate, and this principal, this rate is equal. So we need to compare or we need to equate the amounts. So first of all, let's calculate the individual values. So for Subodh and for Neeraj. So for Subodh, principal is 800 rupees, rate of interest is 6%, and time, say T time, and amount, say amount one is P1 plus SI1. And SI1 is nothing but 800 into 6 into T upon 100, right? Now let's talk about the Neeraj. So principal for Neeraj is rupees 600. Rate of interest in Neeraj's case is 10%, and time is same. Amount here will be P2 plus SI2, And what will be the value of SI2? SI2 will be 600 into 10 into T upon 100. And we need to equate A1 with A2, right? So let's substitute the values now. Let's substitute the values. So A1 is 800 plus 800 into 6 into T upon 100 is equal to 600 plus 600 into 10 into T upon 100. So now if we solve for it, here we'll have 6 into 10, 60, 8 into 6, 48. So this is 800 plus 48T is equal to 600 plus 60T. So that gives us 60T minus 48T is equal to 800 minus 600. So this is 12T is equal to 200, or T is equal to 200 upon 12, which is 50 upon 3, which is 16 2 by 3, and that matches with option D. And that matches with option D. So this is how we can calculate the time for which both debts will be equal. The next type we have simple interest is sum of money. The simple interest of a sum of money is 1 upon 144 of the principal, and the number of years is equal to the rate percent per annum. What will be the rate percent per annum? So here we need to calculate the rate percent per annum. So what do we have? We have principal say P, rate say R percent, T is equal to R but in years, and amount is equal to amount we don't need to calculate because we need to calculate this rate of interest. So we need to determine simple interest. Simple interest is given as 1 upon 144 times the principal. So principal is P. So SI will be P upon 144. Now use this formula of SI, that is P into R into T upon 100 is, so now substitute the values. P upon 144 is equals to P into R upon 100. This P and P it's cancelled. So we'll have R square is equal to 100 upon 144. That gives you R is equals to plus minus 10 by 12. We'll be discarding the negative part, and that will be plus 5 by 6. So 5 by 6% is the answer. Clear? I hope this is better understood with this particular example. Now, let's move to next one. Next we have next we have simple interest on certain sum of money at 5 at the rate 5% per annum for 8 years is rupees 840, right? So simple interest on certain sum of money is 840. So the principal is not known. Rate of interest is 5%. Time is 8 years. And value of SI is given to you as 840. Now, rate of interest for which the same amount of interest can be received. So SI2 should be equal. All these values are say 1. On the same sum, that is principal 2 is also equal to principal. R2 we need to determine, and time 2 is given to us as 5 years, right? So this is quite simple. This should be equal to 8%. Why? Because P into R into T upon 100 gives you this value. So P into R into T upon 100 should give you this value. So this question mark should be equal to 8 because the other factors are same, right? And even if you're not satisfied, you can determine the value of principal from here. Say 840 is equals to P into 5 into 8 upon 100. So from here, we have the value of P as 840 into 100 upon 5 into 8. Now substitute that value here. This 840 is equal to 840 into 100 upon 5 into 8 into R into 5 upon 100. So this 100 and 100 gets cancelled. This 5 and 5 gets cancelled. That 840 and 840 gets cancelled. We'll have R is equal to 8. This way is also. And this is just to verify what I've suggested. In my opinion, we should not calculate this much. We just should observe here if this P, R, and T are same and they are asking for the same interest by changing the value of year and you need to determine the value of rate. So it should be equal to this 8 only, right? So answer to this one is 8%. Next, we have a sum of money becomes rupees to 4,000 in 2 years. So principal not known, interest SI1 not known. What do we know? Time period 2 years, amount one 4,000, right? Same principle gives you rupees 5,500 in 4 years, 6 months time. So principle same. SI2 as of now not known. T2 4 years, 6 months. This was 2 years, right? So this can be converted into year. That will be 4 1 by 2. And on simplifying the fraction, we'll have 9 by 2 years. Amount to 5,500. Now, what we can do is if we consider this as principal and this as amount, so the difference between these two will give you simple interest for the duration of simple interest for the duration of 2.5 years or say 5 by 2 years is equal to 5,500 minus 4,000. So that gives you a value of 1,500. And we know about simple interest that in every year simple interest is constant. If this was X, this will also be X for second year. This will also be X for third year. Though total value of 3 years will be 3X, but if you need to determine value of a particular year, you can divide this by the number of years. So here we have, so SI for 1 year, for 1 year, for 1 year will be 1,500 upon 5 by 2 years. So that gives you 3,000 upon 5, which is 600 rupees. So this is simple interest for 1 year. And if we substitute the value of simple interest for 1 year here, so for 2 years, SI for 2 years will be 600 into 2, that is 1,200. So substituting that value here, we can determine the value of principal. That amount 1 is equals to principal plus SI1. So amount 1 is 4,000. Amount 1 is 4,000. Principal we need to determine. SI1 is 1,200. So from here we have principal as 2,800. Now we need to determine rate. So R is equals to how do we determine rate? Using the same simple interest formula. SI is equals to P into R into T upon 100. So SI is 1200. P is 2800. R we need to determine. Time is 2 years upon 100. Right. So this 20 and this 20 is cancelled. This 12 is cancelled by 4. Then this will be 3 and this will be 7. So and this will be 50. So that gives you R is equal to 150 upon 7, which is 21 3 by 7. And answer is option B, right? I know it looks quite lengthy, but when we solve it, actually, it is not that lengthy, right? So let's move to next question. Next, we have if A is simple interest on B and B is simple interest on C, the rate percent and time being same in both cases, what is the relation between A, B, and C? So A is simple interest on B. So A is equal to B into R into T upon 100 and B is equal to C into R into T upon 100. So if I substitute this value of B here, I'll have A is equal to C into R into T upon 100 square, right? So if A is equal to this C into RT by 100 square, B is equal to C into RT by 100 and C is equal to C. Then what is the relationship between A square is C to the power 2 RT to the power 4 is equal to, if this is not at all equal to, because this is RT to the power 4 and will not have B into C equal to, so we can eliminate option A. B square is equal to A into C. Yes, it is happening. If we take a square of this one, that will be C square into RT upon 100 to the square. And if we multiply A and C, that will give you C square into RT. So correct answer is option B, Bombay. Next we have a sum was lent out for a certain time. The amount was rupees 400 at 10% annual rate. When the sum was lent out at 4% annual rate, it amounts to rupees 200. Find the sum. So in both the cases, principal is same. Rate of interest in first case is 10%. Rate of interest in second case is 4%. Time period is same. Time period is same, T years. Let me write it as T years. And amount we have rupees 400 in first case and amount 2 is rupees 200. So we know that amount is equals to principal plus interest. So we can determine the value of principal with the help of these equations. So this amount is 400. This is equal to P plus P into 10 into T upon 100. And here it is 200 is equals to P plus P into 4 into T upon 100, right? And now if we calculate for the value of P, we'll have 400 uh, is equal to 100 P plus P into 10 PT, 100 plus 10 PT upon 100, and this will be 200 equals to 100 P plus 4 PT upon 100. So this is equation 1, this is equation 2. If we multiply this equation 2 by 2 and then subtract it from 1, right? So this will be 400 is equal to 200p plus 8pt upon 100. This is equation 3. Now what I want is 3 minus 2. So this LHS part will be equal to 0, 100p, 200p minus 100p is 100p, 8pt minus 10pt is minus 2pt upon 100, right? So on solving for the value of t, we'll have 2pt is equal to 100p. So this p and p gets cancelled. We'll have t equals to 50 years. And if we have t equals to 50 years, we can substitute the value of t in any of the two equations, that is equation 1 or equation 2. So as of now, I am substituting in equation 2. So 200 is equals to p plus p into 4 into 50 upon 100. This gives us 200 is equals to 3p, or p is equals to 200 upon 3. So correct answer is 200 upon 3. That is option D. Let's look at question number 7. It says, what annual payment will discharge a debt of rupees 1696 in 4 years at 4% per annum? So to determine this annual payment, we have a standard formula, that is annual payment is equals to 100 into P upon 100 into T plus inside the bracket R into T minus 1. This T minus 1 should be divided by 2, and that gives you annual payment. So now let's substitute the values. P is equals to 1696, R is equals to 4%, T is equal to 4 years. So now let's put all these values here. So 100 into 1696 upon 100 into 4 plus 4 into 4 into 4 minus 1 upon 2. So this is 100 into 1696 upon 400 plus 4 into 4 16 into 3 upon 2. So that is 100 into 1696 upon 400 plus this 2 and 16. This 16 is divided by 2 gives you 8, 8 into 3. So this will finally give us 100 into 1696 upon 424. And if you cancel by 424, it will be 4 times. So the result will be 400. And correct answer is option C. Now let's look at next question. The ratio of principal to amount after 1 year, this is very important, is 100 and 120. So if principal was 100, the amount will be 120. So that is 5 upon 6, 5 upon 6, right? If principal was 5, amount is 6, the interest must be 1 on ratio scale. On ratio scale, interest must be 1. So if interest is 1, principal is 5, so 1 upon 5 is equal to 20%. So the rate of interest per annum should be 20%. And let me tell you, this is common for both, whether it is for simple interest or compound interest, because for 1 year, for 1 year, simple interest is equal to compound interest, right? Keep this in mind. Keep this in mind. This is an important conclusion from what we have learned in interest, right? So please keep this one in mind. So thank you guys. Thank you for listening to us, listening to me patiently. And I hope this has added value to what you have uh, expected and what you already know. There is certain value addition to आपका जो भी knowledge था. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you are if you are new to our channel, and also follow us on Telegram and Instagram if you are looking for regular updates on various design and architecture entrance exams. So thank you guys. Thank you for being there.